back behind me on my wall, I have an entire yearly calendar hanging up, and above each section, I have written Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, meaning quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. And right now, it is completely blank. And boy, oh boy, do I have plans to fill it right up. We have hit the end of Q1, and we want to check in. How the heck are you? And we want to tell you some of the new stuff that Heather and I are doing as we move into Q2 and this new season, this new year. I mean, it still kind of feels new, but on the other hand, boy, if you didn't hit the ground running, it's the end of Q1 already. So let's talk about how you are with everything that you are doing, and then we will give you an update with all the amazingness that Heather and I are both doing as well. So Heather,
Yes.
how do we check in? How do we see what we've been doing by the end of Q1?
I'll tell you what, it's crazy to me that it's already the end of Q1, actually.
Oh,
Like,
mercy.
I was setting goals, I feel like yesterday, and by the end of March, I was going to have all these things done. And it's, hello, the end of
Yeah.
March. And here
Surprise.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had everything written down on my whiteboard, but it never got transferred over into like permanent ink on my calendar.
Uh,
And so there are some things that I got done, and there are some things that now I'm going to have to push into Q2 that, unfortunately, I don't want to push them into Q2, but they're worthy enough to
yeah.
take another dip and start again. So,
I like to reflect back on
yeah.
what worked and what didn't. I
Yes.
think everybody does that at the end of the year, but I think it's important to do quarterly. I think it's really important to sit down and go, okay, what was my goal? What was I trying to do? Was I changing up marketing? Was I changing up messaging? Was I whatever? What was I doing? And did it work?
Yeah.
And I actually just created some new spreadsheets for myself for the next quarter that I wish I had created in January. And now I'm trying to like rack my brain and go back and track stuff. Way easier to do it as you're doing it. But
Uh-huh.
that's what we do. And I started a whole new world with my business. And so I didn't know what I would want to track. I didn't know what it was going to happen. So,
Yeah.
now I
Well,
can.
and there is kind of that interim of, wait a minute, I have to see how this is going to work before I
Yeah.
can start tracking numbers. But the whole concept of, say what you're going to do, then go do it, and then
Hmm.
come back and review and say what you've done. I mean, that is an absolutely brilliant process, one that is tried and true. I mean, I was introduced to that technique actually from a very young age. I didn't really know what it was, but then with the military, they're called AARs, after action reviews. So you go, you do a mission, you come back, and you assess. You say, okay, this was our mission. Did we accomplish it? Did we get
Right.
done everything that we wanted to do?
Right.
If so, great. Pat on the back. If not, what are we going to do to remedy it, and how are we going to do it better next time?
I
And
think we do that. A lot of us do that pretty well with our businesses.
yeah,
I'm not so sure we're great at home. And
no, because it
that's
never
important.
seems to end.
Right. But it is equally important and even actually more important, I think, to not only go and see what worked and what didn't, but to celebrate. You know,
Yes.
if your goal
Yes.
in the first half of this year was to work out 3 days a week or whatever, or plan your meals 5 nights a week, go back through your calendar and figure out if you were successful.
Yeah.
Like if you were successful, I'm gonna say if you were successful, we'll give you a C, right? C's get degrees. If you were successful 70% of the time, you deserve to give yourself a little high five.
Yeah.
If you were successful 80% of the time, it's a big high five. And if it was above 80, it's a happy dance and a cheers and a, celebratory drink, if you may, because that's awesome, you
Yeah.
know? Or if you reorganized at the new year and you went and bought all new storage shelves because that's when they're on sale at Costco,
Uh-huh.
and you decided you were going to reorganize your food storage, or your pantry or whatever, and you maintained it, cool, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like give yourself a high five, celebratory drink, happy dance. I don't know what Ashley's 70% would be on that. but
Well, but I mean, it's easy
70% of the
to
shelves are still empty.
measure, right? It's easy to measure how quickly things can be put away. So I mean, it's unrealistic to say that you're never going to have a mess in your house again, but the measurement, the term of success is when I asked my kids to go clean up or when the garage exploded, how easy was it for me to put it away? I mean,
Yeah.
if the kids still struggle and I don't know where anything goes and it's still just, dividing things out and figuring out where
We're
things,
going to
if
call
it's
that an F.
still, if you would still rather pull your fingernails off with tweezers than to go clean up the kids' room, that's a failure and we need to rethink it. We need to start it over again. But, hey, the garage is a mess. If it used to take you 3 entire days to go clean it up and now it takes you, 4 hours, that's huge. That is a huge
That is
improvement and that's
huge.
phenomenal. How long does it take you to unpack from going on a trip? How long does it take you to clean up after a big play date or birthday party? When you make big messes and things are out of line, how long does it take you to clean up? And that's how we can tend to measure success within the home with organization
Perfect.
is how easy is it for you to do it? And then absolutely you have to reassess.
Yeah.
You have to say, is this working or is it not? Because that's how we make changes. And it's really phenomenal to check in with yourself at the end of every quarter because there is a shift in the seasons about every quarter.
Hmm.
So, now that we're done with winter and we're headed into spring, where the snow, the ski resorts are almost closed, have we put things away?
Right.
Have we shifted gears
Yep.
from full blown winter to this transition? Have we gotten the bikes out and tuned? Have we, done that kind of thing? So now is a great time to think shift.
Yeah.
Okay. How can I assess this? How can I change this to just make
And
sure
to
that,
set some goals for
yes.
second quarter,
Yep.
right? Set some home goals, set some life goals. And it's important to take the data, if you will, from your previous quarter. And if your goal was to make meals 5 nights a week and you were successful 4 nights a week pretty regularly, maybe that needs to be the goal. It's okay to lower the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I think I know people, especially my people, we are all high achievers and the bar must always go higher.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the problem is, if the bar was too high to begin with and you never got there, you're not getting anywhere. So
Mm-mm.
you got to drop the bar down just a little bit so you can achieve it and start to develop the pattern of success from
Yes.
which you can raise the bar,
Yeah.
right? As
And
soon as you,
patterns are going to outstrip motivation any day.
yep, yep,
If you get into a pattern and a routine and you are willing to enforce that on yourself, that will serve you way better than any spurt of motivation that you get.
yeah,
And to look forward to the end of Q2 because that's when school gets out and
right.
the world changes.
Again.
So, how is your workout going to change when the kids are at home or when
I
you would
start
rather
telling
work out?
people, I've been telling people since February, start
Yes.
making plans for summer
Yes.
because everyone drops off. The gym is a ghost town and everyone thinks that they're going to exercise more outside. I'm going to go hiking more. I'm not going to work out at the gym. I'm going to go, cool, do that, but also do your workout at the gym.
Yep.
Because number one, you're not going to hike as hard as you think because you're just not. Let's just
No.
be real. You're just
Yeah.
not. And if you're riding bikes outside, that's amazing. But if you still need to lift weights,
Yeah.
you still need
Those are all
resistance training.
cardio. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
hiking is fantastic cardio. You still need resistance training. And the other thing is best intentions don't always happen, right?
Nope.
So you're like, I'm going to go hiking and then it rains and then somebody can't find their shoes or whatever, things get in the way.
Yeah.
So allow those outside things to be bonus, not in place of.
But
And I
don't
start preaching
stop
that
what
right
you
now because you got
already
to start
have.
thinking about it. You got to start
Yep.
making plans. Okay, the
Yep.
kids are going to be out of school, like you said. What am I going to do for daycare? Is there a daycare? Is the gym daycare open yet? Some are, some aren't. Or do I need to start looking for a babysitter that can come to my house for an hour every day? Or
Exactly.
do I need to, get up early and go when the kids are sleeping and my spouse is home? Or do I need to plan? I don't recommend plan going in the evening because summer nights, you're
Oh
not going to go to
man.
the gym.
You're not
Going
gonna.
to the gym in the summertime in the evening is hell on earth. It is like, great. I love to exercise, but when I used to teach evening classes, there was nothing harder than walking into the gym at 5:30 at night when the sun is in the air, it's 95 degrees outside, and all you want to do is sit on your deck.
Yep.
It is like the hardest thing ever. So just axe the whole workout at night thing entirely the first time.
Just know that it's not going to
It's
happen. All
not
right.
going to
Just don't
happen.
even go there.
Maybe your evening walk with your dog or your spouse or your kids or whatever, that'll happen. But you're not going to go do a strenuous workout. You're just not.
But
So
that's just it. That walk around the neighborhood, that's not intense.
it's
It's
not
going to
intense.
be,
It's beneficial in different ways,
yeah.
but you need both. You
Yeah.
got to have both. You got to have it all. And if you need to know about that, I know we did an episode about that, like, I don't
Yes, we
know,
did.
10 or so episodes ago.
Well, it was one of the happy hacks where we
Yes.
talked about,
Yeah.
a hit or
And
list.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
And the answer is all the things.
all
You
of them.
really do need all the things.
Yes. So Ashley, your
Yes.
calendar is blank.
For now it
And
is.
you're reassessing the fact that you put everything on the whiteboard and it didn't happen,
Mhm.
some of it. So
Mhm.
we know from a New Year's episode, I believe it was last year's New Year's episode, but it could have been this year's, that we found out that you are 60% more likely to achieve your goals when you actually write them down.
Mhm.
And you're 80% more likely to accomplish them when you tell a friend. So
Uh-huh.
I think you should tell all of your friends right here and right now.
Right here. So there
What
has
your
been
plans are.
the reason why things didn't get written on the calendar is because there's this thing called Clubhouse that came into my life and just kind of shifted the way things were going forward. And it's been remarkable for me because like the in-home organizing stuff, that's great. I can still get in homes and it's been fantastic. And I can teach you how to organize within a home. Um, but I also can, for the DIYers out there, I can teach you how to organize your home by speaking to you. Um, and the decluttering side of things is the same. I can come into your home and help you declutter, but I can also teach you how to do it if you want to DIY it and share that with other people. And so my journey into Clubhouse is just beginning, but it's been phenomenal for me to be able to get in and teach and say it out loud and realize, oh my gosh, I have way more information than even what I thought I had ready to go right now. And so, because of Clubhouse, first of all, come find me on Clubhouse. It's Rethink Clutter. Um, you can find me personally, or you can find my club. It's just Rethink Clutter, same thing. And, I host rooms, but I'm also putting together workshops and coursework for people to do if they want to DIY it. So if you are across the country, if you are in a different country, we can always, if you want one-on-one specialized, absolutely, that's what I do. We can get in and get it done for you over Zoom or in person, whatever has to happen. But I'm also putting together a whole bunch of coursework that can be pushed out online where you can DIY it and you can say, oh, I can totally do this and do it again and do it again and do it again as we go through the quarters, as we go through the seasons, to be able to say, hey, you know what, I set this up for success at the end of Q1. Now it's the end of Q2. We're shifting. We're headed back into the end of summer, the beginning of school again. Time to shift again. Let's run through this again and make sure that I'm set up the right way. So,
Right.
the last thing that I shifted is I used to talk about productivity, how I help you get decluttered, organized, and boost your productivity. And I really don't fit into the productivity space. when we talk about
Interesting.
productivity, we talk about time management, and we talk about, making sure that we have that motivation and all those things. And that's not really what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you connect relationship, to detach from your relationship with stuff and connect with your relationship with yourself, your family, and your God. And productivity is not the way that I am best able to do that. I want to be in the space of proactivity. How can you proactively create a place now in your home physically where you can connect with those relationships with yourself, your family, and your God? So I've pivoted a little bit in that regard, where I don't want to focus about the productivity space, but rather the proactivity space. So
I
how do
like
you
that.
teach your family? How do you talk to your in-laws about Christmas presents? How do you deal with paper on a proactive basis rather than a reactionary basis? How do we, how do we decide what the purpose of the room is, the purpose of our home is, to make sure that the things that we purchase now, we've decluttered what we used to purchase. Now, how are we going to be proactive in our purchasing? So
Right.
I did that shift, and boy, do I feel good about it.
That's awesome.
So I'm
Good on you.
pushing out some new coursework. Find me on Clubhouse, and I've shifted from the productivity space to the proactivity space,
Love it.
and I am loving it. Absolutely
Yes,
loving it.
I love
So
that.
yeah, find me on Clubhouse. Follow me on Facebook for any other advancements in that regard. Facebook, you'll probably hear about it first, but make sure you're following me. Rethink Clutter is my page, and Rethinking Clutter is my group where you can get in, and it's a lot more interactive there. So, but Heather, now I need to return the favor and ask you, because I know you've been pushing out, we've heard your commercials on here, you've been pushing out new programs. So what's been going on for you between the new year and now?
Well, I completely changed my coaching programs. I scrapped everything at the end of December. I scrapped it. Well, I kind of started the process in November, but everything got scrapped, and I created one program for one specific person, and she is amazing. It's really been cool, actually. So I noticed at the end of last year, when I was reassessing, that all my clients, or the majority of my clients, were men at that point, which I enjoy coaching men. And they were seeing success, but they were not able to see it through to the end.
Interesting.
And the barrier that they were running into was their spouse. And it wasn't that she wasn't supportive, because she was. It was that she didn't want to have to change her lifestyle. She was cool with her own lifestyle. And she's the boss. So when mama's buying the groceries, and mama's cooking the meals, and mama's planning all the activities and the vacations and the whatever, it makes it really hard for anyone else to make a change on their own. It needs to be a team effort.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I got to get to the head of the house. I got to get to the head of the world. And we all know that ladies run the world.
Who run the world? Girl.
Exactly. So I created a program called Self-Care for Female Leaders. And the whole idea behind it is to help women who are go-getters, type A, juggling all the balls. They're running their house, they're running their company, they've got kids, and they're volunteering everywhere. And the only person they're not serving is themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not because she doesn't know that it's important. I just got off a call with another lady today, and she's like, I know what to do. I know all the things. I cannot figure out how to make it happen.
Yep.
I said, I know, because you're so busy doing all the things for all the people that at the end of the day, you're shot, and the very last thing you care about is doing anything besides sitting down and taking off your shoes.
Yep.
And your bra. But
hey, you nailed it, man. Nothing in my life gets done without a bra and shoes. So at the end of the day, if I take my shoes off and my bra off, man, That is the
We are
end.
done. We are done.
That's
We're
the end of
done.
the line.
We have clocked
Right?
out.
No
Yeah.
more.
So this program, and this is what I've wanted to do since day one, but I got convinced by other people that I should do this and I should do that. And you should offer this and you should offer that. And I was offering like 15,000 things, and they were not true to my love, which my love is helping other women feel good. It's
Yeah.
always been my thing. And showing them that you can and you deserve to feel good.
Yeah.
Just because you're a mom doesn't mean that your body gets to go to hell. Like, you
No.
have an amazing, healthy, strong, like full of energy body and a bunch of kids. And you can also have an amazing career and an amazing family. You can have an amazing career and have time to exercise and take care of yourself and take care of your family. You can actually do all the things. It's just a matter of planning, prioritizing, being very focused when you're in the moment of what you're doing. And that's what I help them do. And we start with
Amazing.
mindset first. Then we go into macros or nutrition. And the last thing we do is exercise. And this is going to shock
Nice.
you to hear out of my mouth, but the exercise is the least important part.
But I can get that. I mean, it's all about the mindset. It really is. I mean, it's just the same as when it comes to sorting and organizing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mindless. It really is just a mindless activity that, the physical part of it is just a mindless. I mean, it's obviously more complicated than
Yes.
that, but generally speaking, it's our mindset going into it. I mean, so many times I've pulled up to the gym and I've turned around and driven
Yeah.
away because of the mind game
Yeah.
that goes on.
And
So
like my lady today that I was speaking to, she
Yeah.
says, I know how to do it. I know what I'm supposed to do. She's going to do her PhD. I've got another one that's going into a master's program, another one that's going into a master's program. And they're going to school now on top of running a company, on top of running a family. And it's just, they just kind of throw their hands up because it's like, where am I going to sit down and figure this out?
yeah. no
And
kidding.
because they are high achievers, because they are type A, do it the right way people, they're not going to go in half-assed.
Nope.
So then they just go, well, I'm not going to do it because I know I can't commit to this and I don't do things I can't commit to.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I help them cut the noise. I filter out what matters for you and your body and your lifestyle. We streamline their schedule. We get clear on their goals and priorities. That they learn how to fuel their body and move their body for the lifestyle they want to live. I don't want them dependent on me forever. I love them, but I don't want you to be waiting for me to tell you what to eat.
Yeah.
I want you to know what your body needs and go make it. And if you decide to change things and you're like, well, now I'm going to train for a marathon. I want you to understand the basics of your body enough to know how to change what you're eating to fuel yourself for that.
Yes.
Yes. So it's been really awesome. I've already had huge breakthroughs with some of my ladies, and
I love
it's been
it.
amazing. And it's a 12-week program. So we're committed. We are all in for, that 90 days that it takes to make a change.
Yeah.
And that was the other problem with some of my other programs, is they were too short for people to make a significant change, and they would get frustrated and give up.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's awesome. I'm super excited about it. But everyone's like, well, men need help too. Yeah, I know. We're going to help them through the ladies.
And there is something to be said about that, because a lot of us are still in, a traditional to quasi-traditional mode where, the women still are the ones who are making the dinners, who are going to the grocery store,
Right.
who are, taking care of extra things around the house and extracurricular activities. And, we're the ones that are dealing with the kids and stuff. I'm not
Well, and
saying
if you
that the
think
dads
about it,
don't,
my
but
husband does a lot of cooking. He's an amazing cook.
yeah,
But he doesn't get home until like 8:30 at night. So
exactly.
I'm on tap for most meals. But when it comes to like family activities, if your family activity is to go out for ice cream every Friday night, that's not conducive to someone who's trying to make a lifestyle change.
Nope.
And it makes it very hard. And you say, well, then that person just doesn't eat the ice cream. But is that fun? Like
But
that's
is
not
that really what you want to do?
right. What
Yeah.
if mom's in charge and she says, instead of going out for ice cream, we're going to go on a bike ride. We're going to go to the park. We're going to go on a hike, whatever, we're going to go do something as a family that's still fun, but doesn't involve sugar,
Yeah.
doesn't
Well, and
involve
I
food.
could say the same thing when
Yeah.
it comes to decluttering
Yeah.
is instead of, feeling bad that you've been working all week or doing whatever and you go buy your kid a toy,
Hmm.
they don't care about the toy.
Right.
They might say that they care about it, especially if their love language is gift giving, gift receiving.
Uh-huh.
They will love that and they will appreciate it. But they will also love the vast majority of kids. They just want to be with you.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, just be with them and let
Hmm.
them know that they have your full attention. So you don't have to go out and buy your kids anything.
Right.
Um, you know, eh, Two birds with one stone. If you go out and buy your kids a Happy Meal, like you're getting an unhealthy meal and you're getting a toy. Like that's a double whammy.
And
So
a
if
toy that just kills
instead,
dust because they don't even play with
right,
it.
right? So if instead you say, "Hey, let's pack a sandwich and go to the park."
Yeah.
I mean, you really it's a small shift,
Hmm.
but it has huge results in the end.
Huge, huge. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's super. I mean, it sounds like like I'm stereotyping when I say that women are the ones making those decisions, but still statistically,
Yeah.
they plan the most vacations are planned by women.
Yep.
Um, we are still trying to move into a more balanced society, but honestly, we just naturally are the caregivers,
Yeah.
right? We naturally are the planners. We naturally are the nurturers. We're the ones making sure everyone is fed, you know? So if I can help the mom or even if she's not a mom, the woman who's running the office to understand how to fuel her body and feel better, she's going to go to work. She's going to be a better boss. She's going to be a better employee. And maybe she can have an influence on her office workers, her
Yes.
fellow office workers, or
Yes.
whoever, her coworkers, whatever. They'll see her and go, "You look good.
Wait. What's
Why do you
going
have
on?
so much energy? You're like glowing. Why do you what's going on?" And then she'll say, "I'm just taking care of myself." And then they go, "Oh, well, maybe I should do that." And then you get this ripple effect. And
Well,
I
and
love it.
and biologically, that ripple effect, women are really good at a ripple effect
Yeah.
because of how our brain is put together. Everything is connected to everything else.
Yeah.
And we can just have these neural pathways in our brain that just connect everything.
Mhm.
And that's how we can multitask and get dinner done while we're helping the kids with their homework, while
Right.
we're, texting the husband, while we're doing, all these different things, and checking the weather for tomorrow, because everything is connected to everything else. And so when we do get our mindset in order, that is when we do start seeing those shifts and that snowball effect happen,
Right.
because one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And before you know it, you just wanted to have one evening a week to be able to play games with your kids. And now you've lost 15 pounds and your house is more organized and you're ahead of the game at work. And I mean, it's just
Yeah.
all the
The
things.
whole it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I get goosebumps every time I have someone make these shifts where it's like
Yes.
the
Yes.
next call we're on, they're telling me, these amazing things that are happening that have absolutely nothing to do with diet and exercise.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
just like how you said you kind of shifted away from one thing and into another, that more fits you. That's
Yeah.
what I've done here because really I tell everyone, I've said it here before, every diet works, every workout works. It's not about the diet and the workout.
No, it's about
It's
what works
about
for you.
putting it in your life and making it permanent. And
Yes.
it's about creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle that is fun, that you don't feel like you're living out of a plastic box or you're, never going to get chocolate again, or, I can't because I have to go spend 3 hours walking on a treadmill. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Ugh, nobody
all
wants
the
to do
none
that.
of those things, none of those things are sustainable. None of
Mhm.
them are fun, and you're always going to rebound out of it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's also you're teaching the next generation, which if anyone knows me really well, they know
Oh
that
man.
childhood obesity, it kills me. Like I have a visceral reaction to it because I know the battle that child is in for the
Yes.
rest of their lives.
Yes.
I mean, honest to God, I would rather you beat your kid than feed them garbage. I really would. I mean, I'm not condoning child abuse, but you know, the permanent internal damage that is done when a child is obese, it leads to, I can't remember what the statistic is, but I think it's like 70% of obese children end up obese adults, even if they lose
Mm,
their weight through college years, because that a lot of times that's what happens. They
yeah.
turn into teenagers, they want to look good,
That
they
peer
go to college.
pressure, the
Yeah, they go to college,
societal.
they kind of
Uh-huh.
take care of themselves, but then they settle back into those old habits when they hit their mid late 20s, and then they're obese as adults.
Yeah.
And plus that, the fat cells are already there. They're
Yep.
ready. They're ready to be filled back up again because they were put there when they were children. So, anyways, but so I have a serious issue with childhood obesity. And I know that no mother does that on purpose.
No.
No
No mother
mother,
would.
no mother like wants her child to be unhealthy. It's because she doesn't know better. And when we know better, we do better. And
Yeah.
so if I can teach her how to take care of herself and how to understand how to feel her body, of course she's going to go, honey, let's have this instead of that. I want you to be healthy and strong, you know? So, yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'm a little
That sounds
passionate if you hadn't noticed.
amazing.
I'm like super
Woo!
woo! Could talk about it for hours.
And that's awesome. So we want to know how you are doing with the end of Q1 for you. Find
Yes.
us, comment here. Make a comment on YouTube, make a comment on Facebook, comment on this podcast. We want to hear what's going on with you at the end of Q1 so that we can cheer you on, we can support you. If you need to make a shift, we're here to help you. If you want to rejoice and celebrate, we're here to celebrate with you.
Yes.
And remember that celebration is key to those
It's
neural
key.
pathways to be
Key.
able to establish better patterns
Yep.
and to eliminate the imposter syndrome. When we celebrate, we are recognizing that we have earned it, that it's not something that has just come passively, that, oh, that's not for me. I shouldn't earn that. But this is something that we have worked for, that we have earned. And therefore, it trains our brain to say, you're good. You've got this. Go do it again.
Right.
So we want to celebrate with you. Let us know how Q1 has done for you and what you're looking forward to for Q2. Find Heather in her new program.
Yes.
Find me
Self-care for female
on
leaders with HD transformations.
there you go. And as always, we will have these links down in the show notes. So make sure you click into that. Heather, say it one more time.
Self-care for female leaders with HD transformations. My website's HD transformations with an S on the end.com.
Awesome. And then you can find me on Facebook at Rethinking Clutter or find me at Clubhouse at Rethink Clutter.
I'll
And
be
join
there
the
as soon as they
rooms.
let non-Apple people. I'm not.
They're getting there. They're getting there. They
They're
really are.
discriminating against me. I
Uh-huh.
feel, I feel shafted.
Dun dun dun. But no, find if you are on Apple, find me on Clubhouse. As soon as they open it up to the rest of the world, you can find me there all the same. So find me on Clubhouse at Rethink Clutter and on Facebook at Rethinking Clutter. And as always, you know what? Thank you so much for your support, for your listenership. Share this with somebody who you want to include in your journey to a happier home, head, and health. Thank you so much for tuning in to HomeBod Podcast this week. We'll see you next week.